We kind of sit back and say, God, I hope this guy's good. The ANA has announced that he was elected without opposition. He replaces outgoing President Walt Ostromecki, who was elected to remain on the Board of Governors. And members of that board will serve 2-year terms. So Walt's still going to be around, but Jeff Garrett is the new president. And finally in the news, the National Numismatic Collection has a new home and is back on display in all of its glory. Did you see about this, Matt?
Oh yeah, I've had some intimate dealings with this particular exhibit here recently. So
The Smithsonian Institution returned the collection to public view on July 15th after a major renovation to the Museum of American History. The grand opening ceremony featured museum director John Gray, who credited the numismatic community for making the exhibit possible. A veritable who's who of numismatics was in attendance, with top names like Q. David Bowers, John Dannreuther, Steve Roach, Dennis Tucker, United States Treasurer Rosie Rios, and incoming ANA President Jeff Garrett. CoinWeek's Charles Morgan, who reported on the grand opening event, called it an exhibit to be remembered, and points out in his article that the National Numismatic Collection belongs to the American people. And because we own it, the two 1933 double eagles contained in the collection will never be subject to confiscation and melt. A placard of major donors recognizes both individuals and companies who have, over the years, contributed treasures to the collection, from a $1794 struck in copper, donated by the Stack family, not one or two but three $1804, a $100,000 bill, and one of the most complete collections of U.S. gold coins ever assembled. It is truly one of the greatest collections of all time.
I was going to say the reason I say I have some intimate knowledge of this is I have a friend who's actually at the Smithsonian right now doing some work with the some of the portions of the collection that are on exhibit, and he was telling me about how cool the new exhibit was, and so that's all.
You know, one of the things that struck me when we were at the World's Fair last year
Mm-hmm.
was, the ANA museum curator was there, or at least one of the guys that works in the museum, and all the stuff that he knew. I mean, this guy was just fascinating to listen to. And he walked
Mm-hmm.
us around and he was showing us, hey, here's this coin and this. And, the National Numismatic Collection is something that belongs to the people of the United States. So we, as, the people, own an 1849 double eagle, the only one in existence. We own a couple of 1830 or 1933 double eagles, a couple of 1913 Liberty nickels, $1804. I mean, there is an opportunity here in this collection for you to see some of the rarest stuff in numismatics, and you own part of this collection.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just a really cool thing. So I would say that now that it has a permanent home, I urge everyone who listens to this show, and even those who don't, to make a pilgrimage to Washington, D.C. to see it.
I would love to.
I think we should make a road trip.
Road trip. I'm in. Sam, you in?
I'm in. That sounds awesome.
See, the weirdest thing about the people on the Google Hangout is they see me like banging my head. They see me, making all these odd
You
motions towards
you
it, and they can't hear any of it.
you were playing the air drums earlier.
I was playing the air drums during our opening theme. Do you realize that you have three frames in my Google Hangout?
I know. That's how I roll.
What title did we give Sam? Because I remember we actually gave him a title.
The
I forget
Duke
what
of
it was though.
Researchness.
Yeah, there was something like that.
Research editor?
There was, yeah, well,
Um,
now you're being boring. It was
Sultan of seated
His hand-
coinage.
yeah. There was the captain of capped busts.
Ooh.
There
Yeah.
was some very special titles being put out on Facebook.
Oh, speaking of which, Sam, we gave you a contest to run,
Yeah.
and we asked people to flood your mailbox. Did they flood your mailbox? That's what I
Yeah.
first want to know. They did.
Not. Yes, absolutely. My email box
Okay.
was flooded with responses.
All 10.
I did get
The teaming
decent
10.
amount of responses.
That's good.
Yeah,
So what were the
something like that.
responses to the contest?
I had a few. Did you want me to share my favorite of them all, or just
Well, I mean, you
some
can
of
give us
the
kind of a
kudos I
general
received?
recap too. I mean, well,
Um,
everybody loves you, Sam. That's
well,
probably more than you and Matt.
Me especially.
I had a response from Hannah in New Jersey. She said she'd love a copy of Harley Spiller's book. She said she appreciates us on the show because we talk more about classic coins and less about modern mint crap.
That's my.
Keep up the good work.
You know what?
I had to throw that in, Mike. It was beautiful.
Send me her email
I
address,
will.
and I will make sure she gets bombed.
Send me her email address, and I'll make sure she gets a book.
Yeah, well, her submission, because I asked for your favorite mutilated coin. She said her favorite is a messed up Guatemala 8 real. Why? Because counter stamps are freaking cool. That's why.
You know what? Counter stamps are freaking cool.
Who was this?
They are. It's the New Jersey Hannah, but then it says it's actually Nick H. So I don't know. I'm gonna guess Nick H, but I don't know.
Well, maybe it's
weird.
Nick and Hannah.
It could be Nick and Hannah. I don't know. It said from New Jersey Hannah, but he signed it Nick H. Anyways,
Nick H.
I thought that was interesting.
We don't judge. It's okay.
I had a good
Okay.
response. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, please.
Okay,
Continue.
I had a very good one from Barry, a big fan of the show. This is
Barry's
Barry
in
Swan,
the-
I think. He may be in the hangout tonight. Is he in the hangout?
Yes, Barry is in the hangout. We're waving to Barry. Barry has got his wine. I will toast Barry. Attaboy.
There he is. I love it. It's awesome. His was his favorite mutilated coin. Oh, go ahead. Oh, we got Mountain Dew too.
Yes, Chris is slugging Mountain Dew. He's gonna have a conniption afterwards, but I love it. No, Barry lives in a former hometown of mine. Oddly,
Okay.
it's just weird how small the world works.
3 Mile
Here's a
Island.
guy. I went to high school in the town that he lives in, which is just weird
Huh.
because it's a long way from where I live.
Well, I appreciate Barry because he chose a 1853 large cent as his mutilated coin. So that's good with me right there. And the reason he chose it is because it's not just a normal large cent. This one's particularly holy. Actually looks like it took a bullet hole right through the middle of it with some fragments on the exit.
He's nodding
So
his head.
in
He's
his
like,
mind,
"Yep."
it was. Yep. He suggested it was probably shot by someone in the Wild West. So I thought that was pretty cool. I
That
often
is
wonder
cool.
sometimes how the giant holes get in them.
Yeah. Okay, and
So, yeah.
and so which was your favorite out of all of them, Sam?
I liked both of those two that I read. I thought the New Jersey Hannah / Nick H was funny. I thought Barry's was his was well written. He had 5 bullet points actually as to why his mutilated coin was the best. So I think he deserves it.
You know what? I'll tell you what. This is what we're going to do, and this is because this is how we roll.
Uh-oh.
We will send a book to both Barry and to either Nick or Hannah, whoever it is.
Nakana.
That was the prize was a copy of Harley Spiller's book, right?
Awesome.
Yep, that is right.
Both Hannah, Nick, and Barry will receive a copy of Keep the Change, A Collector's Tales of Lucky Pennies, Counterfeit C-Notes, and Other Curious Currency by Harley Spiller and published by Princeton Architectural Press. And that book will be courtesy of Princeton Architectural Press and our good friend Harley J. Spiller. We will send them both a book because they rock, and we like the fact that, they get it. They got what we were after. They just gave us some entertainment. That was it.
They were picking up what we were putting down.
They were picking up what we were putting down. Now, as far as the Sam Needs an Awesome Title contest, okay, Matt wins.
What?
Because Matt came up with what I like the most, and that was the Enjoyment Director.
Ah, yes. Enjoyment Director.
The Enjoyment Director. I liked Coin
Clever.
Information Officer and Chief Information Officer. Chief Coin Connoisseur. I thought he was any kind of sewer. Lord of the Large Sense.
Oh yeah, personal favorite right there.
Sam Schaefer, Lord of the Dance. Sultan of Seated, Lib Cap Chap.
Ooh,
I like that one too.
Yeah.
His Royal Researchness.
Not bad, not bad.
Minister of Information. That was a little too futuristic. Baron of Background.
Baron of Background.
The Baron of Background.
Very
because
true.
he gives us a lot. Species Specialist.
I like
Not
that.
feces.
Species.
Not feces.
Species.
Yes. Not feces. That's Matt.
Hey. It's lucky I
Okay,
like
I
you.
get you. So, both of them, we want to congratulate our winners. Thank you. So, Barry, see that? You'll be getting a copy. And Hannah Nick, because you entertain us and you entertain our listeners, and God bless you for that.
This is Harley Spiller, and you're listening to Coin Show Radio.
Can you guys believe that the Walking Liberty is almost 100 years old?
That's true.
Next year.
Yeah,
be exactly
right? I mean,
100
we're
years.
coming up to the anniversary. I'm just thinking about that. Like, that is crazy because to me, it seems like a classic coin. Like, I think of it in like I do 19th century coins,
Yeah.
But there are people alive. I mean, Mike, you may have collected these when you were a kid, like out of circulation, right? That dates you a little bit.
I thought you were going a different direction with that. I thought you were going to say.
Yeah, but he really
he
enjoyed the
remembers
direction
when they
it
started
took him.
minting those.
That's true.
No, but I will tell you that the guy who I work for in the coin shop is probably tired of hearing me say this. But if you remember a couple of years ago, the Mint came out with an enhanced uncirculated coin. It was the very first one that they ever designed, and it was the Walking Liberty design. And it was the very first time that you ever saw that Liberty actually is draped in the flag.
Yep.
And if you look at that enhanced uncirculated coin, it really, really kind of it highlights the fact that there is a flag that's what her dress is made out of. And you've seen the painted, the enameled coins and all this, but I mean, this was something that was minted, and it was produced by the Mint to be distributed like it was. And I personally think that it may be it's without question my favorite coin of all time. And personally, I can't believe that they're not more popular and more valuable than they are.
Well, I mean, they are valuable. I mean, it's tough to put a set of them together. I mean, have you ever seen like a full uncirculated set of them? I don't know if it can be done. I guess on a budget.
21S will kill you.
Yeah, we have a customer.
Absolutely.
We have a customer that's working on one who's just about done. He's getting there.
Yeah. I mean, you see people try them, but I mean, you got to have a pretty deep budget to do it because, I mean, these things, man, you want to talk about coins that were money. I mean, these were used extensively. I mean, back in the day, I mean, in the early 20th century, these things had substantial buying power. I mean, you could buy a loaf of bread, a quart of milk, eggs. I mean, things that you needed on an everyday basis. So they got spent to death, and not many of them survived nice.
Here's the thing that a lot of people don't realize. People of my age and older.
Oh, like
understand.
118?
Yes, exactly. No, but older people, see, if you talk to the average person, you ask them what is the most common coin that you find in circulation, it is without question a quarter. And it's not a quarter because they made 15 million statehood quarters and, all these national park quarters. It's because the quarter is really what people prefer in their pocket. But if you go back, I mean, actually to a generation prior to mine, because, I mean, I really came along after it was all over. the half dollar was the coin of choice.